Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome to American Premier Hockey League playoff hockey. Tonight, the game between the Toledo Mobsters and the Kalkaska Battlers in Game 1 of the playoff series between the number 4 Mobsters and the number 5 Battlers. We'd like to thank our sponsors of Toledo Mobster Hockey, Twiggs Hockey Shop, Majestic Auto, Ballast Buick GMC, Toledo Landscape Supply, Toledo Outdoor Living, Mighty Auto Parts, Pillar Athletic Training and Hockey Academy, Modern Woodman of America, Twiggs Hockey Advisors, the O'Reilly Auto Parts, 1111 Photography, DJ Res Q, Apple a Day, Way Too Detailed, Bulldog Heating and Air, Paint Wizards, SP Radiator, SP Truck Parts, E&K Contractors, Perrysburg Movers, Parts Plus, and Federated Auto Parts. Once again, we thank all of our sponsors for bringing you this playoff hockey tonight. Well, fans, in the first round of the playoff here, we have the Mobsters and the Battlers. Again, it's a number 4 seed. Toledo coming into the match with 14 wins, 8 losses, 1 tie, and 1 overtime loss. The number 5 Battlers have 9 wins, 13 losses, 1 overtime win, and 1 overtime loss. Looking at our goalies. In net for the Battlers is Everett Bailey tonight, number 45. He has an overall record of 3-8-1, but does have a save percentage of .870 for an 87% save percentage and averages just 2.33 goals a game. In net tonight for the Mobsters, Matt Cooper. Matt's played in 10 games but has an overall record of 7-2. Has a save percentage of 89.1% and averages 3.71 goals a game. So it'll be interesting on, will the number of shots be high from the Battlers and Matt be up to his game, or do we put the pressure onto the Battlers and their end and force their goalie, Everett Bailey, to do his deeds? It'd be a big matchup. I had the chance to talk to Josh Reprezio before the game. He's the head coach for the Battlers, and he used about every cliche that you possibly could in talking about tonight's matchup. We're going to take every inch along the way. We're going to use every inch to get a mile and see where that does us. We've battled all season to get to this point, and we're into the playoffs now, and we're going to see where it takes us. That was all he had to say about what his team was doing. He said they've done the work, they've put in the effort, they're ready for the playoffs. So we're going to see again here shortly what it's going to be like between the Mobsters and the Battlers. We'll be back in just a moment. Yeah, it's 20 minutes north of Traverse City. Yeah, my brother-in-law is about 15 minutes from the ring. He's in Fife Lake.
She got really good eyes. You can see the numbers on the jerseys, maybe the names.
We'll see. It's Omacheski, right? Omashinsky? Shin. Okay. And Safarian, right?
Safarian.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know this one.
Bomey. It's Bomey. Bomey.
It does have E in there.
Yeah, his uncle was in my son's, was the best man at my son's wedding.
Gotcha. I listened to Myers down there say, what's it on? Say Bone for the blah blah. The next one will say Bomey for the.
Yeah, it's Reese Bomey. Well, fans, we're back on the air and want to give you tonight's starting lineup as we get down to about 1 minute remaining in warm-ups. Tonight's starting lineup for your Toledo Mobsters: Hightower, Williams, and Pfeiffer at forward. Duncan and Pfeiffer at D, and Matt Cooper in net, as we talked about earlier. For the Badlers, at forwards, Tyler Christensen, number 77. At forward, Will Holden, number 24. And at the other wing and forward is Jimmy Edney, number 19. At defense, Matt Heim, number 15. At defense, Caleb Chillman, number 63. And as we talked about earlier as well, Everett Bailey, number 45, is the starting goaltender for the Badlers tonight. The team is coached by Josh Raprizio. And again, he told us earlier in a conversation before the game that they've got everything into this. They've worked hard all year, and they look forward to the battle against the Mobsters, as every match against them's been a true battle of the mobs. So both teams are bringing their guns. Hopefully ours is a little more modern than the Badlers. So we will be back shortly after the ice cut to pick up the opening game ceremonies to the playoffs here in the American Premier Hockey League. I know it's Caleb Williams, J.J. Sarter. So we got
position right now.
Yeah, she's
And now it's time to meet and greet your Toledo Mobsters starting lineup. At forward, number 40, Clay Hightower. At forward, number 86, Caleb Williams. At forward, number 34, Trevor Peddle. At defense, number 67, Brody Duncan. At defense, number 15, Brendan Pfeiffer. And between the pipes, number 30, Matt Cooper. And here comes the rest of your Toledo Mobsters. The Mobsters assistant coach is Dustin Kane and team owner is Josh Way. The equipment manager is Chris Hurley and team trainer is Summer Gessner. And in his first season as head coach, it's Kyle Getzinger. Our audience officials are assigned by the APHL. They are referee Cody Lang, referee Troy Oak, linesman Sean Plant, and linesman Ian Stackhouse. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a country with freedoms like no other. To honor America, all who have and are actively serving our country, please rise and remove your caps for the song of our national anthem.
Welcome back, fans. Game 1 of the APHL playoffs.
You chose to be here with us at the Team Toledo Ice House. It's Mobsters hockey time.
For the Kalkaska Battlers, Starting lineup again is forwards Tyler Christensen, number 77. Will Holden, number 24. Jimmy Edney, number 19. At defense, Matt Heim, number 15. And Caleb Chillman, number 63. In goal for the Battlers is Everett Bailey, number 45. Has an overall record of 3-8-1 on the season with an 87% save percentage and a 2.33 goals against average. Your starting lineup for your Mobsters. You have Clay Hightower, number 40. Number 86, Caleb Williams. And number 2, Cameron Pfeiffer. At defense, Brody Duncan. And at defense, that's Brendan Pfeiffer, number 15. In goal, Matt Cooper. Overall record of 7-2 for the season, an 89.1% save percentage, and averaging 3.71 goals against. Again, it is game 1 of the American Premier Hockey League, the top senior league in America. This is a battle between the number 4 seed Toledo and number 5 seed Battlers. And here's the opening faceoff. Mobsters win the puck, swung over to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer looks up the ice. Picked up at center, dumped in, down behind the net. Tried to clear by the Battlers. They'd look for the breakout, but kept in by Williams. Into the corner. Kept in there by Pfeiffer, number 15. Working on the far side. Mobster's still working on it. Here comes Williams. Has the puck, slides it over to Pfeiffer. Feeds it to his D partner, skates in, takes a look. There's the shot. Save and up into the netting. First shot of the game, but good pressure here by the Mobsters in the first 40 seconds of this game. Face-off will take place deep in the offensive zone for the Mobsters as they set up. Looks like Sarter will be taking the draw. He has Assenmacher on his wing. It's the center. Won by the Battlers, but Sarter battles back. Up the boards, the Mobsters will clear the zone. They dump it in. Had a problem over at the door. So we had an official's timeout to get this door taken care of on the bench of the Mobsters. Looks like it's taken care of, and we're going to have the face-off deep in the Kalkaska offensive zone. Draw one by Kalkaska, back to the point. Tried to clear, but kept in by Kalkaska. There's their first attempted shot, just wide of the net. Battle behind the net, picked up by the Mobsters and wrapped around. Starter will pick it up along the boards. Has it taken away. Nice shot, just wide. That's by number 25 for the Mobsters. That's Channing Gorsick. Battle behind the net, still controlled by the Mobsters. Good pressure here by the Mobsters in the Toledo zone. Starter again at the near boards. Nice feed up to the side. Picked up by Brown. Brown crosses center ice. Into the zone. Feed over. There's a shot. Shot and save. Brought back in. Another chance. Save. Wrapped around behind the net. Picked up on the far boards. We've got someone down. One of the officials is down in the back. Must have gotten hit by the puck. Everybody looks to be okay there. That looks to be Cody Lang with the stripes, shaking it off. Face-off will come here deep in the Mobster zone. Draw back to the point. Shot by Way, blocked with a shin pad. Duncan picks it up, but feeds it right to the Badlers, dumps it in, repossessed by Duncan. He looks up the ice, takes his chance. Here's his break. Slides it right in front. Chance there for the Mobsters and stopped by the Badlers. Face-off coming to the left of the goalie here, deep in the Mobster zone. Draw one back, but just missed his D. Cooper's going to come out and play it. Plays it out to center, but all the way down, picked up by the Badlers. Badlers circle, get it up ice. Nice shot, knocked down by Cooper. I think that kind of surprised Matt a little bit. Brought into the zone deep, but the Badlers take back control. Try to feed it along the boards. Racing in there is Duncan. Slid across, out the center. It'll be picked up there, and that's played by Bomey. Kane takes a look. Did we get a change? Sarter comes flying back out onto the ice. Badlers look across the ice again. There it is, back to the center. Break in by the Badlers and a chance just wide of the net. Badlers are getting too many opportunities here early. Kept in, controlled there by the Badlers, and another golden chance for them. Nice play in front by Pfeiffer to break that up with a stick play. Comes into the zone. Sarter steps in, takes a look, drops it off. Fed right back to Hightower. Just couldn't control it. Knocked down at center by the Badlers. Here comes another chance. Nice play there by Pfeiffer on D. Slid across the crease. Wide of Cooper. Attempted wraparound, comes off his stick. Williams feeds it up to Hightower. Knocked down, nice play there. Picked up, though, by the Badlers, and they're going to regroup and set this up, trying to come down ice. Austin Smith dumps it back into the Mobster zone. Continued pressure as they keep the Badlers pinned back in their zone. Stepped up now by Brown into the zone. Takes a look, looks for some help. Finds it in the form of Smith along the boards. He drops it down behind the net. That's picked up there and cleared out by the Badlers. Brown feeds it over, gets it back. Off to Smith, looks to regroup the center ice. Picked up there. Ossenmacher skates in, takes a look over to the center, knocked down behind the net. They're battling for the puck. Brown picks it up, feeds it over to Duncan. Duncan looks up ice. Feeds it back across as they change there. Nice rush here by Way. Knocked down. But Duncan picks it back up, steps into the zone, cuts across. There's a tripping call coming. Here's a chance for him. First penalty of the game coming against the Badlers for a trip on Brody Duncan as he stepped into the zone from his defensive position. I think the Mobsters might be a little surprised by the intensity that the Badlers have brought this first few minutes of the game. We have 14:31 to go here in the first period. Back to the point. Duncan feeds it back over to Hightower. Hightower takes a look. Over to Duncan at the top. Nice shot. It's a good screen in front. Badlers ice it down to Cooper, who puts up the play. They look for the breakout. Cutting through center is Hightower, but in steps Pinnell. He drops it off. They wrap it around. Picked up there by Williams, who plays it out to Hightower. Back to Williams. Williams from the slot. Steps in, keeps the look, feeds it across right in the middle. Just off the stick of Starter. Starter had a A1 chance there. Just had it come off. Cooper shoots it up the boards. It'll be picked up here by the Badlers. 2 men and 2-on-1. Nice play there by Brody Duncan. Deep into the Badlers' corner. Duncan comes out with it and looks up ice. Over to Pinnell. Pinnell steps into the zone. Good chance. Feed. Goal! Nice goal by the Mobsters. Beautiful feed from Duncan up to Austin Pinnell. I'm sorry, Trevor Pinnell. Might do that a couple times tonight, as I know both the brothers. Nice goal for the Mobsters. We go up 1-0 here in the first period at 13:07 to go in the first. It's 8 shots for the Mobsters and just 1 that's been on net, even though they've had plenty of pressure by the Badlers. Pfeiffer dumps it in on net. Bailey covers. Faceoff will be deep in the offensive zone for the Mobsters. Faceoff's going to be taken by Kane. Steps through, gets a nice chance. Quick shot. Nice shot from the point, just wide of the net. Pfeiffer dumps it back in. Out into the center. Picked up by Pfeiffer, but knocked away. He regroups at center ice. Right at center, Bomey makes the tip to nullify the icing. The Badler crowd didn't seem to like it too much. Badlers have the puck in front of their own net. Break out to center ice. Cooper will play this. Round the boards over to Pfeiffer. Just out of his reach. Badlers continue to put pressure on. Kept in at the point. Shot, tip in front over the top of the net. Be cleared here by the Mobsters. Out to center. Picked up by 28, Bomey. Reese is taken down. Badlers take a look down ice, set the play up out of their zone. Out into the center, crosses into the zone, tries to feed all the way across, but just behind the breaking Badler. There's another chance. Nice play by Cooper to come way out of the net. Another nice block by Hightower. They look up the ice. He's going to get hit. It's mano a mano. Nice feed dropped off for Caleb. Just lost control, but still kept under the zone by the Mobsters, but now knocked free. A 2-on-1. Duncan gets back to take that away, and the shot's over the net. Faceoff will be deep in the Kalkaska offensive zone. 10:46 to go here in the first period. 8 shot for your Mobsters, 2 for the Badlers. Badlers have shown a tendency to look for the big breakout, trying to get the quick breakdown ice to see if they can get behind the D of the Mobsters. Stolen here at center ice by the Badlers. Picked up by Duncan as he looks along the boards. Now over to Ossenmacher, who looks up but dumps it deep into the zone. Wrapped around and picked up by Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer loses control behind the net. The Badlers take a look out of the zone looking for the breakout. There's the long pass we just talked about, but Duncan knocks it down. Steps up into the zone, has it knocked away. Defense regroups. Over to Duncan, who steps in. Fakes the quick shot, has it knocked away. Wrapped around by the Badlers. Here should be a chance for the Badlers to finally clear the zone, but they play it all the way back. Knocked out to center finally by the Badlers. Tipped at center ice, waved off by John Frank. There's the long pass again. Pfeiffer picks it up, feeds it over. This is another tip, so the icing is nullified. Out to the center, knocked away, but picked up by Pfeiffer. He steps up into the zone looking for the pass, makes it over. Farian's back here battling for it. Pfeiffer fights along the boards, has it finally taken away by three Badlers. Looks for the breakout to center. Into the zone, but they go for a change, and Toledo gets the opportunity to bring it out of the zone. Knocked away. Safarian steps into the zone all by himself. They've got another penalty coming against the Badlers. Be the second power play for your Mobsters here in the first period. We've got 8:32 to go in the first. Power play opportunity, face off deep in the Mobster zone. Played over to Williams, shot, quick shot, nice save there by Bailey. And that was Lee Roberts on the tripping penalty. He'll serve 2 minutes in the sin bin for the Badlers. Draw one by the Mobsters out to Duncan. Good chance in front by Ossenmacher on the tip. Badlers are clear the zone, flip it down ice. Knocked down by Cooper, puts it back behind the net. Caleb Williams looks across ice, hits J.J. Sarter back to him, and now here's Hightower. Good chance. Feed over Pennell to the far side, back to Pennell. Down low to Hightower, in front. Nice goal. Good passing, great work by your Mobsters to go up 2-0 here on two power play goals. Badlers better learn that you can't go to the box against this Mobster team or you're going to pay the price. Believe that was Caleb Williams' goal. And I just want to give you some stats on Williams this year. He is 5th in the league in goals. He is 4th in the league in points, and he's 3rd in the league in assists. That was his 60th point of the season. Not a bad track record. It's also his 25th goal to go along with 35 assists. Played back by the Badlers deep into their own zone. Looks for that long pass, but separated again by Omachinski. Knocked around and now cleared. Nice play there by Austin Smith to clear the zone. 2-0 here in the first. Looks in front. Cleared out by the Battlers, but picked up there by Brown. Reese Bomey comes out through center. Looks into the zone, drops it in. Broken up and knocked out by the Battlers. Brown goes back to pick it up. As the Mobsters make a quick line change. Just knocked away. Coming in on the rush was the Battlers. Here's a quick chance in front. Nice shot, but high. Over the net. Here's another chance for him. Nice blocker save by Matt Cooper. Battle in the zone. Picked up by the Mobsters. Cleared out of the zone. Battlers regroup at center. So the Mobsters make a line change. Here's another chance, knocked down. Good block by Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer picks it up behind the net. Looks for the break up ice. Steps in across, now at the center of the ice. Looks for the shot, takes a quick shot. Just knocked wide there by Bailey. Picked up along the boards, kept just out of the reach of Parr. Had to check it. Parr's changed numbers. Regroup, cycled here. Stepped through by Cole. Duncan Cole showed nice speed there up through the center of the ice. Tipped in by the Battlers all the way down, just off. Matt Cooper plays it back. The Mobsters look up ice for their breakout. Duncan makes the feed, tipped out the center, but picked up by the Battlers. Battlers rush in. Wrapped around. Sarter will be there to play that. He picks it up along the boards and clears the zone. Duncan regroups. Feeds it along the sides for Sarter, but he didn't see it. Picked up again by the Battlers. They step in. High up on the pad of shoulder of Matt Cooper. Nice stop in front. But a quick recovery by the Battlers. Hightower looks out of the zone, knocks it out, gives them a chance to reset. Nice steal there by Hightower. Taken over by Brown. Caleb Williams made a nice play up to Hightower to step into the zone. Had it knocked away by the Battlers. Duncan looks across ice. Steps in as the Battlers were changing. There's a chance by Williams, but nice stop by the Battlers. Clears the zone. Way heads back to pick it up. Way looks up ice. Picked up there by the Battlers D. Feeds up through center. Nice play to dislodge the puck. Sarter steps into the zone with some speed. Hightower, nice hand-eye coordination there. Battlers regroup out of their zone. Look up ice. Picked up at center there by the Mobsters. Brown looks to the far side. Brings it up there. Pfeiffer with a chance. Takes a look, tries to feed it through. Just misses his man and picked up by the Battlers. All the way down ice is going to be the Battlers. It's now played around by Matt Cooper. Played along the boards. Here's a chance for the Mobsters. Just out of the reach of Pinnell. He feeds it in front, grabs the puck. There's a nice shot by Ossenmacher. Another chance in front. 3 for $1 on the chances. Battlers break it out. Teeter picks the puck up behind the net. Picked up there by Brown. He steps out of the zone. Rushes in with Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer to the center. Opportunity there just out of the reach. Third Battler penalty's coming. Need to skate away from this and not take anything from us. Back to the sin bin goes Lee Roberts. Unfortunately, he's no stranger to that box. We've just got another 10-minute misconduct. I think we caught on camera what Mr. Roberts did there to stir the fans up, so we'll leave it at that. There might be some issues with the league on that. So it's a 2 and a 10 to Roberts. Play here by the Mobsters. Out to the point for Pinnell. Out front, Sarter tried to tip it, went high into the netting, so it'll be another draw. Mobsters enjoy the announcement of the penalties. Peanut galleries all over Mr. Roberts. There it is. Goal. Right out front. 3-0 for the Mobsters. And they've, I believe, removed Mr. Roberts from the game. So we have a slight delay here. So it's 3-0 here in the first period. 1:46 to go in the first. 3-0 on 3 power play goals by the Mobsters. If I'm correct in my memory, all 3 had the same gentleman in the box. That's Caleb Williams' second goal of the game. Badlers dump it deep into the zone, picked up there by Teeter. Plays it along the board but loses control. Quick chance for the Badlers. Teeter feeds it out, but to the point. Badlers will keep it in. Nice knockdown by Teeter. Picked up there by Pinnell. Nice rush up by Pinnell. Trevor makes a quick move. Feeds it over for Ossenmacher. Ossenmacher working behind the net. And we're going to have the first penalty on Toledo here. I believe it'll be Dennis Ossenmacher. Most likely be a roughing call. Was a penalty on Ossenmacher. Faceoff will come deep in the Mobsters' defensive zone, out to the point for the Badlers. And it was a roughing call against Ossenmacher. Cleared out by the Mobsters, by Pfeiffer, all the way down. Put pressure there by Hightower. Kept in by Williams, but picked up by the Badlers. They break out of their zone, making a quick rush. Dropped back to the point. Kept in. So they look on this power play opportunity, and it's shot up into the net. It'll still be deep into the Mobster defensive zone. Williams on the draw, won it back, but battled there very nicely in front. Taken away, good play out there by Hightower to put it down net. Bailey had to play it. The Badlers look up ice. Austin Giblin cleared the zone, comes right back to him. Former Mobster puts it out to center. Here comes Williams with an opportunity right as the buzzer sounds, but don't think that would have counted. At the end of one, it's your Toledo Mobsters 3, the Kalkaska Badlers 0. We will be back after the ice cut. But before we leave, we'd like to once again thank the sponsors of Toledo Mobsters Hockey. That's Twiggs Hockey Shop, Majestic Auto, Ballast Buick GMC, Toledo Landscape Supply, Toledo Outdoor Living, Mighty Auto Parts, Pillar Athletic Training and Hockey Academy, Modern Woodman of America, Twiggs Hockey Advisors, O'Reilly Auto Parts, 1111 Photography, DJ Res Q, Apple a Day, Way Too Detailed, Bulldog Heating and Air, Paint Wizards, SP Radiator, SP Truck Parts, E&K Contractors, Perrysburg Movers, Parts Plus, and Federated Auto Parts. All are sponsors of Toledo Mobsters Hockey and brings you this game tonight. We'll be back right after the break. Welcome back for the second period of Game 1, where your Toledo Mobsters are up 3-0 heading here into the second. Kalkaska wins the draw, brings it back to set up their breakout. Up through center comes Kalkaska. Fed in behind the net. Played there by Obachinski. Knocked out the center. Picked up here by Kane with a chance. Glove save by Bailey. Face-off will be deep in the zone. Kane to take the draw. Whistle blows. Toledo had two too many players out there. Making their changes, getting it all set up as they're killing off the last of the penalty. Kane will take the draw as he was already on the ice when the play stopped. Badlers look up through center ice. Dropped back to the point. Slow-moving power play here for the Badlers. So the Mobsters were able to clear the zone. Kalkaska looks back down ice. Circles at center. Tries to pick up some speed. And they are back at full strength on the Mobsters. Gain control here. Knocked out of the zone. Breaking down ice is Duncan. Brody steps in, takes a look in front. Has it knocked away back behind the net. But right out to the point and kept in briefly by the Mobsters. A quick breakout here by the Badlers with a chance. Cooper kicks it onto the glass. Right out front. Goal for the Badlers. Badlers come out here early in the second period, make it 3-1 to make a much closer game than it was. They got Cooper down on a couple of quick shots. Couldn't quite cover it and had it tipped in. 3-1 Mobsters over Kalkaska. Wrapped around. Hightower picks it up. Tries to feed it back to Williams. Rushed by Kalkaska. Steps in. Here's a chance. Nice block pad save there by Cooper. Mobsters look up ice. Fed to Sarter, who feeds it over to Hightower. That's Williams. There's Hightower at center. Just had it come off his stick. Another break for Kalkaska. Taken away there by Williams. Cleared the zone. That's offsides. Face-off will come just outside of the Kalkaska zone. Face-off won by Kalkaska. D-to-D pass, dumps it in, back behind the net. Cooper lets it go around to the side. Played there by the Mobsters and out of the zone. Here's a chance for Ossenmacher. Steps in, drops it off to Pinnell. Has it taken away. Another rush by Kalkaska in. Just wide on that shot. Picked up along the far boards by the Badlers. Taken away by the Mobsters. Out of the zone. Here's a chance for Pinnell. Trevor makes the move around. Feeds it to center and just out of the reach. It's a 2-on-1 break now for Kalkaska. Nice play there by Pfeiffer. Back out the center. Ossenmacher applies the pressure. 15:53 to go here in the first period. It's 17 shots for your Mobsters, 10 for the Badlers. It's 3-1 score in the second period of game one. Face off back along the board. Starter battles back there. Hightower is working for it right behind the net. Should have been a hand pass. Brings down Kalkaska. In on net, knocked out in front. 3-2. Knocked down in front and popped it right up over the shoulder of Matt Cooper. 3-2 with 15:25 to go. Mobsters are a little upset because behind the play, Hightower lost his helmet in a scrum behind the net, and they were questioning the hand pass. In the defensive zone, he was just told in the defensive zone you can play a hand pass. And that was the question. He didn't cover it. He slid it along. Long of boards. Fed back in by the Badlers. Another shot wide of the net. Elbow penalty against the Mobsters. That's Bowman with the elbow. 15:06. This entire period's been the Badlers' period, scoring 2 quick goals here to make it 3-2, and find themselves again on a penalty kill. It's a big penalty kill for the Mobsters. Controlled by the Badlers to the point, feed, knocked down in front. Ooh, just knocked away there by Pfeiffer. Cooper made a nice save, but it was going behind him, and Pfeiffer knocked it away. Here's a break now for Hightower. Hightower takes a look, puts it over the net. Good chance for the Mobsters here. Short-handed. Puts a shot right into the chest of Cooper. The Badlers did, and stops the play with 14:37. Still 1:31 to go in the penalty to Reese Bomey. Another big face-off. Won by Toledo, knocked out of the zone. All the way back. Good pressure here by Cameron Pfeiffer. Making the Badlers use the entire length of the ice. They try to feed it up through center, and it's picked up, carried in. Tries to go wide. Oh, another golden opportunity. Mobsters come back. Here's a chance, tipped off of the glove of Bailey. But I have to tell you, Trevor Pinnell made a play down there to keep the third goal from going in the net. Just still 1:01 to go in the penalty kill, but boy, the Badlers are all over the Mobsters in this second period. Goalie has to have his equipment looked at. He's got a helmet issue. Kalkaska goalie's having some equipment issues with his helmet. He had to get some screws put back in. Don't want to say their goalie has some screws loose, but apparently that was the case. Still a minute and 1 second to go in the power play for Kalkaska. 3-2 with 14:06 to go here in the second period. Face-off one tipped there by Pfeiffer on net. Kalkaska loves this long breakout. Up through center, rushes in, tries to put the pressure on. Played through the crease. Another shot, stopped by Cooper. 13:42, 36 seconds remaining in the power play for Kalkaska. Both teams take the opportunity to change lines. Five-on-four situation. Kalkaska putting the pressure on. Fed over to the point. D-to-D pass. Steps in. Takes the shot right down the slot. But there's Cooper to make the save. Mobster D does a good job of keeping this line of sight clear. Still 28 seconds on the power play. Draw won by Williams and shot down the ice by Teeter. Kalkaska comes back and picks it up, looks up ice, tries to go through center, but tipped away there by Hightower. Kalkaska steps in with just 9 seconds remaining on the power play. Another shot, tie up in front. Good job there. Oh, what a shot by number 16, Brendan Rainey. Big goal, ties this game up 3-3. Rainey had the chance in front, but it was knocked away. Recovered the puck and just spun and let it fly up over the shoulder of Matt Cooper. Shots are tied at 18, scores tied at 3, and we've got 13:05 to go here in the second period. Mobsters have to get the wheels back.
Kalkaska goal scored by number 16, Brendan Rainey. Assist number 25, Shane Gordon. Number 15,
Played deep. Kalkaska looks to break out again. Pressure there by Sarter. Knocked down in the middle by Williams. Had the puck taken away. It's going to be covered by Bailey. Get the face off. .12:40 to go in the second. Face off deep in the Mobster zone. Williams on the center has just been thrown out of the circle. Hightower will take a draw. Sarter and Williams switch places so that Williams has the shot right off the draw. Picked up there. Knocked over to Duncan. Duncan steps in, looks right back to him. Good chance. There's Duncan, looks across. Got to be another penalty to the Badlers for knocking down Sarter. Right at the crease. Got a cross check. I think that was a call on the goalie for cross checking Sarter out of the crease. 12:26 here in the second period. 3-3 score with your Mobsters heading to the power play. It's key that they get their fourth goal on their fourth power play of the game. They're 3 for 3 so far. Williams to take a draw. You've got Hightower and Sarter at forward with Duncan and Pennell at the points. Williams win the draw, back to Duncan. Duncan feeds it across to Pennell. Takes a look, back to Duncan. Over to Hightower. Hightower steps in, takes the shot just off, but off the shoulder of Bailey. So the draw come deep and not come out of the zone. Minute 49 to go in the power play. 12-14 to go in the second period. Again, Williams to the draw. Back it comes to Pennell. D switch. Hightower takes a look from the midboard. Duncan over to Williams, got the shot, covered there by Bailey. Have another draw with a minute 38 to go in the power play. Toledo's got a good job so far on the first 25 seconds of this power play. Back out to Pennell. Drags it across over to Duncan. Back to Pennell at the top of the zone. Over to Hightower. Steps in. There's Sarter with the puck. Back to Duncan. Over to Pennell. Out to Duncan. Kept in. Loose in front. Kept in by Pennell. Now it's over. All the way down. Cooper will let it go back as we break out of the zone. Fed up by Duncan to Hightower. Steps into the zone. Up through the center. Big opportunity. Nice shot. Tipped up out of play by Bailey. 46 seconds remain in the power play. 11-11 to go in the second period. And at 11-11, I'd suggest to our fans they remember 11-11 Photography, one of the sponsors of the Toledo Mobsters. Pfeiffer has the puck, controls, looks around here on the power play. Back to Ossenmacher. Knocked down, but played back by Pfeiffer into the corner. Bomey picks it up. Going to have another, give him the puck to make it a 5-on-3. Ossenmacher takes it, looks over. Teeter with the shot, knocked wide. Pfeiffer picks it back up. Williams up top with him. Williams picks it up, takes a look, right into the slot. .10:35 to go here in the second period. 10 seconds remain in the initial power play. Another 2-minute penalty coming here to the Kalkaska. So for 10 seconds, it'll be a 5-on-3. Scores 3-3 in the second period. Draw by Ossenmacher is finally taken back, but cleared down by the Badlers. Cooper takes it, lays it down for Duncan. Duncan turns and looks up ice as the Mobsters break up. Chance for Williams. He puts it into the zone. Kalkaska picks the puck up, shoots it all the way down the ice. 5-on-4 now for another minute 30 as Duncan looks up ice. Steps into the zone. Here's a chance and a shot knocked wide. That was Pennell with the initial shot. Williams puts it into the corner. Picked up there by Hightower. Into the slot for Duncan. Over to Ossenmacher. Shot saved by Bailey. Kalkaska clears it down the ice. Cooper plays it back behind the net. It'll be picked up by Pennell. Risky pass there. Ossenmacher picks it up at center. Steps into the zone. Looks for the pass. Just off of the stick as Kalkaska knocked it free. Cooper will have to play it again. Pennell back to pick it up one more time. Looks up ice. Williams off on the wing. Picks it up at center ice. Steps into the zone. Takes a look. Resets it back out to Duncan, who steps to the center of the ice. Over to J.J. Sarter. Sarter to Pennell. Pennell with a shot knocked down. Loose in front. Good cover there by Bailey as the sticks were flying. Sarter was working. Hightower was working to get that puck into the back of the net. 26 seconds. Still on the power play with 9:01 to go here in the second period. Still tied 3-3. Shots are now 20 for the Mobsters, 18 for Kalkaska. Tipped up, back to the point. Over to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer starts to step in. Feeds it over to his brother. Out of the zone and into the netting. It'll be faced off deep in the zone. Delay a game as no one from the Mobsters touched the puck. Kalkaska is flirting with disaster here. 3 straight penalties. This is 15 seconds of 5-on-3. Back to the point to Pfeiffer. Slides to the center of the ice. Over to Pfeiffer. To Pfeiffer. To Pfeiffer. Shot. Knocked down. Kalkaska gets the break as the man comes out of the box. Cooper makes the save. Puck's under his feet. Behind the net now. Picked up there by Sarter. Fed over to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer was looking for Duncan, but just didn't have a clear pass. Pfeiffer skates in deep. Looks back around. Battle along the boards. Still battling. 3 Mobsters right there together. Knocked free. Oh, good chance for Pfeiffer, but knocked away. Duncan picks it up. Clear across over to Sarter. Sarter offsides. Just hadn't cleared the zone as they were making a change. 51 seconds still of power play time for the Mobsters. This is going on their 5th minute of power play, but no goals to show for it. And the shots are relatively even for over that period of time. 2 for Toledo, 1 for Kalkaska. Here's another break, but Cooper comes out to play it. Back along the boards to Duncan. Cooper has to make the save. With 36 seconds of power play time left, it'll be the face-off deep in the zone. 3-3 is the score. 7:25 to go in the second. 36 seconds of power play for the Mobsters. Draw by Williams. Into the corner that Asemacher picks up. Skates around behind the net and looks for the breakout pass. It's not there, so he carries into the zone. Williams tries to gather the puck up, but it's not. Chance here for Kalkaska as they break in. Quick shot and a score. Kalkaska with a shorty. At 7:03 of the second period, Kalkaska scores 4 straight goals to go up 4-3. I believe that was number 24, Will Holden, with the goal. Toledo still on the power play. 14 seconds remain. Knocked ahead by Kane. Puck's right there at the line, picked up by Toledo, kept in. Kalkaska does return to full strength. Teeter picks it up along the boards. Looks for the feed right across the slot. There's a chance. Came with a chance, tried to go 5-hole, but Bailey shut it down. 6:37 remaining in the second period. Kalkaska up 4-3. Got Kane taking the draw for the Mobsters. Deep in their zone. One back. Kept in there by Teeter. Just out of the reach of Omachinski. Has it there. Come right back to him. Pin in the corner. Tried to play it up along the boards. Teeter keeps it in. It's knocked down. Cleared out of the zone by the Badlers. Pfeiffer goes back for the Mobsters. Picks it up. Looks up ice. Slides it over to Teeter. Teeter up to Omachinski. Omachinski tries to make the pass over to Kane, but just out of his reach. Here's a chance for the Badlers. Pfeiffer picks it up, takes it behind the net, and looks up ice. Long pass up intended for the Mobsters, but there's going to be a penalty because there was a hit from behind. It was not a smart play by number 15, Pfeiffer. He's going to even it up at 4-on-4. He did take exception to the hit. Understandable, but you've got to take advantage of those power plays when you have them. $5:50 to go here in the second period. Kalkaska 4, Toledo 3. Should be a 5-on-5 situation here. Both penalties were called at the same time. Now they decided it is going to be a 4-on-4 because it wasn't coincidental. Duncan picks it up, looks up ice, slides it over. Back to Duncan. Shot in right on Bailey. I think it kind of surprised him, but save. 5:36 to go. Face-off will be deep in the zone for the Mobsters here in the second period with a score 4-3 Kalkaska. Face-off by Williams. Brody Duncan picks the puck up, slides it over. Chance there for Smith. Kalkaska picks it up behind the net, looks to break out of the zone. Up through center comes Kalkaska. Chance for Gorsuch. Good chance knocked down by Cooper. Another chance knocked away. Kept in the zone. Another shot tried to be tipped in front but knocked away. Kalkaska putting some pressure on here behind the net in the 4-on-4 situation. Slid over to D. Shot from the point. Wide of the net. Toledo will be able to pick up. Fed up through the ice. That was waved off. Picked up at center by Smith. Dumped into the zone. Stole here by Pinnell. Goal, 4-4. Nice play by Pinnell. Waited for him to go down. Once Bailey was down, Pinnell drew it back and threw it over the pads to tie it up 4-4, 4:38 into the second. Penalties will still stay as both teams had men in the box. Hightower to take a draw here for Toledo. Long aside. Asemacher tries to tie him up, but a chance here for Kalkaska. Cooper plays it to the side. Out to the point for Kalkaska. Tipped in front by Duncan and saved by Cooper. Quick glove. Duncan thought he had it knocked down, but Cooper had an eye on it, able to get his glove on it. Keep it tied at 4-4. 4:25 to go in the second. 21 shots for Toledo, 22 for Kalkaska. Draw one by Toledo, taken back behind the net by Duncan. Over to Ossenmacher. Ossenmacher off the wing. Over to Way. Way steps into the zone with the puck. Here's a chance for Way. Goal! Justin Way with a 5-4 winner lead. Lead at 4:12 in the second period. Toledo comes roaring back with 2 quick goals. Nice play by Way. Stepped through 2 defensemen, let the shot go right over the shoulder of Bailey. 5-4 Toledo lead here in the second period. 4:12 to go in the second. Still 4-on-4 for another 23 seconds. Kalkaska pushed back into the zone. Under pressure by Hightower. Duncan with the assist on the goal. It's at least his second of the day. Chance for Kalkaska. Steps in, knocked down by Way. Out in front, Duncan knocks it loose. It will be an icing call here at 3:40 to go. 3:40 to go, icing call. 5-4 Toledo. Face-off will be at center ice. It's a question on the icing, but to make sure nobody gains an advantage by it, it'll take it to center ice. Pinnell to take a draw. 5-on-5 situation. It's been a long time since I've been able to say that. Duncan steps in. Nice move. Fed over to Sarter. JJ puts it back behind the net. Chance knocked away by Pinnell. Pressure all the way back into Bailey. Bailey falls on it to cover it up. 3:20 to go here in the second. Still 5-4 Toledo. Four-on-4 situation seemed to have worked out for Toledo. Got their feet back under him, let them get a little bit of speed going back in the game, and now they've picked it back up. Sarter into the corner. Back behind the net, out to the point. Played in by Pfeiffer, knocked down. Sarter right there, loose in front, off of Bailey. Pinnell knocks it over to Pfeiffer. Out towards the point where Parr was at. Parr was able to knock it down. Pinnell over. Pfeiffer picks it up and goes into the zone. Got Sarter and Pinnell with him. There's a chance, knocked away by Bailey. Out to center. Back goes Parr to pick that puck up. That will be 2 minutes against Toledo for a delay of game. It's truly unintentional. He tried to play it up off a glass and missed it by about 6 inches. If he'd have been 2 panels down, it might have stayed in. Kalkaska will go on the power play here, down 4-5. Big penalty kill here for Toledo. 2:41 to go in the second period. One by Toledo. Pfeiffer along the boards. Clears the zone down to Bailey. Bailey plays it over to Giblin. Austin looks up ice for the Kalkaska. Circles back around by under the pressure of Williams. Out towards center for Kalkaska. Steps into the zone. onside. Pressure here on the power play. Pfeiffer knocks it down along the boards. Picked up out to the point. There's Giblin. Over to Kalkaska, tipped in front, knocked loose. It's still tied up in their jerseys, picked up by Kalkaska. Right along the half boards. Kalkaska surveys the play. Goes over to the D, to the middle. Nice job there by Toledo to knock it down. Hightower's going to have a chance. Here's his second breakaway. Bailey stops that with a nice glove save. Minute 3 to go on the power play for Kalkaska. Minute 44 to go in the second period. Toledo still up 5-4, but down a man for the next minute 3 seconds here in the second period. Well, Kalkaska penalty. It's going to be a 4-on-4 situation. Kalkaska looks up ice, right outside the zone. Picked up there, carried in by Kalkaska. It was a slashing penalty on Holden that makes it a 4-on-4 situation. Shot deep into the zone, played there by Bailey behind the net. Kalkaska plays it poorly, and Kane picks it up. Back out to Duncan. Duncan steps around. Carries it in deep, looks in front, has it knocked away. Got Gorsick bringing it in for Kalkaska. Good play there by Pfeiffer to carry him wide. Picked up by Duncan. Tries to make the rush up ice. Finally knocked free by Toledo, and that Omachinski. Duncan knocks it ahead to Kane. Kane with a chance. Looks to the side. Omachinski with a backhand chance. Goes to the far side. Picked up there by Kalkaska. They shoot it down ice, right on net. Cooper looks, plays it up a middle, trying to hit Pinnell. Picked up at center. Dumped into the zone. Brown back. Kalkaska with another chance on a loose play. It's along the pads, finally covered by Cooper. 17 seconds to go in the power play and just 7/10 of a second here in the second period. 7/10 of a second. Shouldn't be much happening here. Face-off will be, though, deep in the Kalkaska zone. Face-off, and that's the end of the period. At the end of 2, it's Toledo 5, Kalkaska 4. Shots are 22 for Toledo, 25 for Kalkaska. When play resumes, Toledo will have 17-second power play with the lead. We'd like to thank our sponsors of Toledo Mobster Hockey. They are Twiggs Hockey Shop, Majestic Auto, Ballast Buick, GMC, Toledo Landscape Supply, Toledo Outdoor Living, Mighty Auto Parts, Pillar Athletic Training and Hockey Academy, Modern Woodmen of America, Twiggs Hockey Advisors, O'Reilly Auto Parts, 1111 Photography, DJ Res Q, Apple a Day, Way Too Detailed, Bulldog Heating and Air, Paint Wizards, SP Radiator, SP Truck Parts, E&K Contractors, Perrysburg Movers, Parts Plus, and Federated Auto Parts. Again, at the end of 2, it's Toledo 5, Kalkaska 4. When we come back, there'll be a 17-second power play for your Toledo Mobsters. We'll be back briefly. Welcome back, fans. It's still 5-4 here in between the second and third periods. Your Toledo Mobsters are ahead, 5-4. They'll have a 17-second power play heading into the third. Let me get you the scoring details so far in the game. The first goal was scored at 13:04 of the first period by Trevor Pennell with an assist to Brody Duncan. Toledo's second goal was scored at 7:52 of the first period. Caleb Williams with that goal with an assist from Clay Hightower and number 34, Trevor Pennell. Toledo's third goal in the first period with 1:42 to go in the first period. His second of the game, Caleb Williams, with an assist from Clay Hightower. That ended the first period with the Mobsters up 3-0. In the second period, at 4:38 of the second period, Trevor Pennell scored for the Mobsters. And with 4:12 to go in the second period, Justin Way scored for the Mobsters with an assist from Dennis Ossenmacher and an assist from Brody Duncan. For the Kalkaska scoring, at 18:22 of the second period, Zachary Skog scored for Kalkaska with an assist from Channing Gorsak and an assist to Brandon Rainey. Kalkaska's second goal in the second period at 15:24, scored by Brendan Rainey with an assist from Will Holden and also an assist from Channing Gorsak. Kalkaska's third goal, scored at 13:01 by Brendan Rainey with assists to Channing Gorsak and Matthew Heim. And Kalkaska's fourth goal was scored at 7:03 by Channing Gorsak with an assist to Evan Kellogg. And that brings your score to 5-4 with the Mobsters up by 1 heading into the third period. We'd like to once again thank our sponsors of Toledo Mobster Hockey. A big thank you to Twiggs Hockey Shop, Majestic Auto, Ballast Buick GMC, Toledo Landscape Supply, Toledo Outdoor Living, Mighty Auto Parts, Pillar Athletic Training and Hockey Academy, Modern Woodman of America, O'Reilly Auto Parts, 1111 Photography, DJ Res Q, Apple a Day, Way Too Detailed. That's Way Too Detailed. Bulldog Heating and Air, Paint Wizards, SP Radiator, SP Truck Parts, Ian K Contractors, Perrysburg Movers, Parts Plus, and Federated Auto Parts. Once again, thank you to the sponsors of Toledo Mobster Hockey. We appreciate all you do, and we get ready for the face-off here in the third period of Game 1 of the APHL first-round playoffs. Toledo is up 5-4. They'll have a 17-second power play. JJ started to take a draw. His wings will be Caleb Williams and Hightower. And at D, we've got Pennell and Duncan. Played down behind the Toledo net. Cooper sets it up there. Picked up by Pinnell. Looks up ice. Makes a pass out to center, just out of the reach of Hightower. Kalkaska steps in. Nice play by Pinnell to take the man off the puck. Williams recovers, but back to the point for the Kalkaska. Down behind the net. Toledo throws it up the sideboards. Kept in by Kalkaska, wide of the net. Picked up there by Sartor. He looks up ice. There's Hightower. Steps in. Here's his third chance. And the third save by Bailey. Hightower's going to get a breakthrough here one of these times and put one back behind the net. Face off deep in the zone for the Mobsters. Omachinski's going to take a draw here for him. At D, we've got Pfeiffer and Way. Kalkaska steps out of the zone, puts it in on Cooper, and he blockers it into the corner. Way ties the man up and it's picked up there by the Mobsters down the boards, but it'll be an icing call. Face-off come back deep into the Mobster zone. Toledo will set up to the left of their net, protecting that 5-4 lead with 18:56 to go here in the first game of the APHL playoffs. Draw by Eisenmacher, back into the corner for Toledo. Toledo skates around. Pfeiffer looks up ice. Dumps it out to the center ice. Picked up there by Giblin and thrown back into the Kalkaska zone. Over to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer again looks up ice behind the net. Bomey circles around, as does Pfeiffer. Looking for the breakout pass. There's the breakout pass. He steps up over to Eisenmacher at center ice. Steps into the zone. Dennis looks for the chance from behind the line, puts it on net, and then knocked back into the corner with another quick shot. That one by Bomey. Way with a chance. Bomey picks it up along the boards, throws it into the corner, but taken away by Kalkaska. Kalkaska breaks out of the zone. Quick stop, knocked back into the Kalkaska defensive zone. Back out to center ice. Swing over for Kalkaska. Chance there out of the corner. Knocked behind the net. Bomey will look up ice. Makes the pass, but knocked away by Kalkaska. Eisenmacher picks it up. Slides it over to Way. Way looks up. Tries to come down the ice, but that's going to be another icing, and it'll come back into the zone. Little discussion. Eisenmacher tried to get onto the bench, but he was caught, brought back onto the ice as they can't change. Eisenmacher for the draw. Back into the corner. Mobsters pick it up. Pfeiffer looks up, feeds it over to Omachinski. Down the far boards. Had Pfeiffer streaking. Kept in there by his brother. In front, chance. Nice stop by Bailey. Good chance by the Pfeiffer brothers. D throws it to the net. Forward tries to pop it. Bailey covers. 17:20 to go in the third. Toledo still up 5-4. It's a 5-on-5 situation. Kalkaska wins the draw back behind the net. Played along the sideboards. Out to center ice. Pinnell picks it up, feeds it over to his winger. Smith tries to cover it there. Kalkaska knocks it down, knocked down by Rader. Rader throws it up, now to Pinnell, back up to Rader, tries to knock it into the zone. Kalkaska controls the puck, chance knocked away. Ooh, 5-5, folks, a quick pop across. Quick goal for Kalkaska. It's tied at 5 with 16:42 to go here in the third period. Tie game in game 1. That score looked like it was by number 25, Channing Gorsuch. So tie game with 16:40 to go here in the third period, tied at 5. Tip to Hightower. Hightower with another chance, knocked down off of Giblin's shin. Out to the point. Toledo picks it up, throws it back into the corner. Hightower knocks it deeper. Kalkaska tries to clear the zone, and they finally do. Brown with a chance, throws it back into the zone. Kalkaska makes a breakout across center ice. Knocked off the puck by Sarter. Teeter throws it over to Brown. Brown puts it up the sideboards. Picked up by Giblin. Deep into the zone. Played there by Cooper. Toledo picks it up through center ice. Now picked up. Knocked away by Toledo and out of the zone. Kalkaska resets. Crosses center and dumps it in. Cooper knocks it down. Brown's there to pick it up for Toledo. Looks for Ossenmacher just out of his reach. It was over to Pfeiffer. Kalkaska recovers. Out to the point, loose. Had to clear the zone. Toledo defensively knocked down there by Cooper, and he'll take the draw. .15:01 to go here in the third period. Tied at 5. Face off deep in the defensive Toledo zone. Ossenmacher on a draw, knocked clear of the zone, picked up by the defensive Kalkaska. They dump it back in right on to Cooper. Cooper knocks it down where Way picks it up, sets up behind the net. Over to the sideboards for Pfeiffer. Picked up there by Ossenmacher at center, knocked into the zone, but picked up by Bomey. Bomey with a chance just wide of the net. Kept in the zone, turn around, and here's a quick break for Kalkaska. Out across center, nice play by Pfeiffer to knock that away. Way picks it up along the boards and knocks it up to the sideboards. There it's picked up by Pfeiffer. Plays it up, and here's a chance for Reese Bomey. Reese Bomey with a chance. Quick save by Bailey. Out of the zone, and Way will pick it up at center ice. Regroup. Picked up by Kalkaska. Quick break. Nice chance there. Sarter knocked it away, but here's a quick chance. Kalkaska along the boards. Putting some quick pressure on. Screen in front, knocked to the corner. Sarter goes over, picks it up, looks to get up to the man. Knocked down the ice just out of the reach of Williams, and it'll be an icing call. Face-off will be deep in the Toledo zone defensively, just to the left of Cooper. Face-off won by Kalkaska. They gain control. Backhand chance, but Way knocked away. Breakout here by Bomey. Comes down ice, dumps it in on net, and gets a quick change. Kalkaska picks it up behind the net. Giblin knocked off of the puck. Out in front, quick chance, knocked away again. There's another chance for Hightower. Covered. 13:28, still tied at 5. Face-off will be deep in the Kalkaska defensive zone. Going to have Williams taking the draw. Sarter and Hightower at his wings. Played back behind the Kalkaska net. Kalkaska looks up ice. Out to center with that long pass. Duncan throws it back in. It's knocked down. Nope. They did call an icing. Thought they waved it off. Face-off will come deep in the Toledo defensive zone. 13-16 to go here in the third period. 5-5 tie game in game one of the first round of the APHL playoffs. Draw by Williams, comes right back to him, plays it behind the net to Pinnell. Pinnell circles around. Quick feed up to Hightower. Hightower along the sideboards to Williams, cross center. Into the zone, knocked down. Hightower picks it back up, steps around, takes the shot just wide of the net. There was a quick celebration because I thought it was in the net too. Kalkaska breaks back. Here's a chance. Cooper knocks it down. Duncan battles it. It's taken down out of the play, and there's going to be a penalty for an interference call here. Interference on Duncan as he played the puck back behind the net but was taken down. So Toledo's got a huge opportunity here with 12:48 to go in the third period. 5-5 game, third period. Face-off deep in the Kalkaska defensive zone. Bomey on wing. Assenmacher to take a draw. Pfeiffer on the wing. At point, you've got Teeter and Assenmacher. Draw's tied up. Back behind the net to Kalkaska. Tries to wrap it around, but Teeter keeps in. Feeds it over. Back to center towards Reese. Bomey knocked down in behind. Bomey and Assenmacher look for it, knocked away, kept in by Teeter. Teeter feeds it over to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer steps in, tries to make the pass. There's a shot by Teeter, just tipped over the net by Pfeiffer. Another quick chance. Here's another one. Tied up, covered by Bailey. Bailey had no idea what was that, just laid on the ice, and it went underneath him. 12:16 to go in the third. Still a minute 29 to go in the power play for the Toledo Mobsters. Face off deep in the Toledo attacking zone. Now have Williams and Pfeiffer at the point with Bomey, Assenmacher, and Pfeiffer. They threw Assenmacher out of the circle because Bomey jumped in too quick. Going to drop the puck again. They are leaving Assenmacher in to take the draw. Scrum on the puck. Kalkaska tried to clear it, knocked down by Pfeiffer, spins, makes the pass over to Pfeiffer. Back to Pfeiffer. Shot, saved by Bailey. Minute 14 to go, still in the power play. 12:01 to go in the third, still tied, 5-5 game one. Williams to take a draw. It's going to be on the wings. This will be Hightower and Sarter. Duncan, Pinnell at the point. Out to Duncan. Over to Pinnell. Pinnell steps in, takes a shot. Tipped in front, into the corner. Pinnell knocks it back deep. Hightower putting pressure on. Kept in by Duncan. Hightower. Williams with a chance just behind it. Sarter on the puck. Circles around. Moves it over to Duncan. Duncan, quick shot in front. There's a chance for Pinnell. Just off of the post. Williams, sideboards, steps in, takes a shot, knocked down low. Kept in, though, by Sarter. Sarter gains control. Over to Williams at the point. Over to Duncan. Knocked away by Kalkaska and down the ice. Cooper makes the play in net. Feeds it right back out to Duncan. Duncan slides it over to Williams. Williams steps in. Over to Duncan. Oh, what a chance for Duncan. Knocked away by Bailey. Picked up along the sideboards by Williams. Slides it across for Duncan. There's another chance and stopped by Bailey. Big slash by the Kalkaska defenseman, and Duncan takes exception to it. Think they're both going to go to the box. Yeah, Duncan took exception to the chop. The chop was called, but Duncan got the penalty as well. See what the calls finally are. Got 10:57 to go in the third period. Scores tied at 5. Toledo has 32 shots. Kalkaska has 30. Toledo still has a 10-second power play before the verdict is handed out on this next set of penalties. I will say that the referee crew has done a pretty good job of trying to maintain this game as well as they can. That's Cody Lang and Troy Bowes on the refereeing, and then the linesmen are John Frank and Ian Stagmeyer. Just waiting for confirmation on the penalties. Clearly looks like it'll be offsetting because nothing's been put up on the board yet. With the quick delay in the game, let's give a quick reset. We're in the third period of Game 1. Toledo Mobsters against Kalkaska Battlers. 10:57 to go in the third period. Score tied 5-5. And Toledo has a 10-second power play at this point. They clearly have an error on the scoreboard because they have a 1-minute penalty up there. Yeah, they just took it down, so it does appear to be coincidentals. All right, here's the situation. Here's why it was 1 minute. Brody Duncan got a double minor for 4 minutes. Number 15 got a 5-minute major for the slash. So Brody will serve the 4 minutes as long as they don't score. Number 15 will have to serve all 5 of his no matter how many times Toledo scores with the major penalty. So 10:57 to go, 5-5. Toledo on a 10-second power play here in a 4-on-4 situation. Pennell at D. Williams to take a draw. Williams wins the puck over to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer takes a shot, stopped by Bailey. So 5-minute slashing and 2 minutes on Duncan, which gives Toledo a 1-minute power play starting now. I'm sorry, starting in 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Taken in now by Williams. Williams with a shot knocked away by Kalkaska. Knocked down, picked up there by Hightower. Out to the point to Pinnell. Over with a chance just wide of the net. Pinnell steps back up, dumps it into the corner. Picked up there by Hightower. Chance in front by Pinnell, but knocked away. Oh, right off of the shin pad of Kalkaska as that was going in the net, but Kalkaska breaks it out and has a chance here of their own. Set up over to number 5. Shot knocked over by Cooper. Into the corner. Kalkaska picks it up. Toledo defends. Taken away by Pinnell. Pinnell steps back and sets it up. Over to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer looks, feeds it along the boards to Ossenmacher, breaking in. Ossenmacher carries in, steps in towards the net. Knocked away by Bailey, but it's in! He tried to knock it away, and it went over his stick into the net. Toledo leads 6-5, 9:46 to go here in the third. .946 to go in the third. Toledo up 6-5. Still 4-on-4 hockey for at least another 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Draw won by Toledo. Picked up in the back. Thrown up over to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer tries to throw it in deep, but picked up. Knocked away by Kalkaska. Back over to Brown. Brown feeds it to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer goes all the way back, and that's now to Pinnell. Pinnell sets the puck up. Looks up ice. Gets his feet moving. Comes across center ice into the zone. Carries into the zone. Looks back. There's Brown. Tipped away off of the stick. Brown picks it up in the corner. Feeds it back behind the net. Tries to throw quick in front. Loose in front. Knocked away. Kalkaska picks up on the far boards. Picked up there by Kane. Kane has the puck. Flips it over to his D. Brown picks it up there. Skates into the zone. Hard ahead. Looks over. Tries to slide it across. Bounces right onto the stick of Pfeiffer, but knocked away. Pfeiffer regains control, throws it back behind the net. Kalkaska defensively picks it up there. Looks for the breakout pass, but nothing there. Flips it over to his D partner. That's Giblin. Giblin looks up, but bounces to center, and Brown slides it over to his partner, which is Pinnell. Pinnell back to Brown. Stolen away by Giblin. Giblin steps in with a chance. Skates in. Takes the pass attempt. Knocked over, wide by Cooper, plays it along the boards and up to center ice. Pfeiffer picks it up there. Waits for his line change, drops it off. Off it goes to his brother, Pfeiffer. Steps in, takes a shot, knocked into the corner by Bailey. Pfeiffer gets the rebound. Steps back through the circle. Picked up at the point by Brown, takes a shot and covered by Bailey. 7:44 to go in the third period. Toledo up 6-5. 48 seconds to go on Duncan's penalty, and still a minute 48 to go on the Kalkaska major. Toledo has 37 shots, Kalkaska 31. Draw one back to the point to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer slides it over to Way. Way takes a shot, knocked down by Bailey. Bailey gives it to his D partner, skates up through ice. Now into the zone, slides it over to Gorsuch. Down behind the net, Pfeiffer fights for the puck and gets the puck away. Omachensky slides it over to Williams. Williams has it knocked away, but right to Way. Way puts it back to Williams. Pressure there by Kalkaska. It's going to be a penalty here to Williams as he got hit in the head by a wayward stick. Sarter with a chance just over the top of the net. Picked up by Hightower. Sixth man's on as Toledo's now got the extra man on the ice. And on top of that, Brody's penalty will be up. Skated in by Hightower. Pinnell back to the point. Steps up. Over to Brown. Brown takes a chance. Looks in. Skates in. Shot saved by Bailey. 6:35 to go in the period. 6-5 Toledo. 39 seconds remain on the major penalty to Kalkaska. And we're going to have another Kalkaska penalty for a high stick. That was a delayed penalty. So Toledo's going to be on a 5-on-3 situation for 39 seconds with 6:35 to go here in the third period, up by 1, 6-5. Toledo wins the draw. Back to Duncan. Off to Hightower. Back to Pinnell. Pinnell skates in, takes a shot. Saved by Bailey. Still 21 seconds remaining in the 5-on-3 situation. Minute 42 in the second Kalkaska penalty. Williams with the draw. Wins it back to Duncan. Duncan takes a look, slides it over to Hightower. Hightower down low to Williams. Williams tries to pop it in, and it's in! Snuck it in between the post and the pads of Bailey. It's a 7-5 game with 6:12 to go, and Toledo will still have a minute. Clock's running. I don't know why they're running it on down. Have to figure out what the penalty situation is here. The first penalty should be over for Kalkaska with still a minute 35 to go on the second penalty. About 6 seconds ran off because I had it at 6:08 to go in the third period for the goal, and it went down to 6:02. There will be some discussion here by the officials trying to figure out exactly where the time is set at. Discussions are still going on at the scorer's table. They said the first penalty, since it was down to 5 minutes, was there. And Toledo's questioning it as they should. Apparently not a huge argument because Toledo's smiling and laughing on the bench, but they understand at 6:01 to go in the third. Toledo is up 7-5. It's a 5-on-5 situation now. Omachinsky, Bomey, and Pfeiffer out at forwards. At D's, Pinnell and Duncan. One back to Pinnell. Slides it up center ice for Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer dumps it in deep. Omachinsky comes in hard. Bomey tries to tip it. Has it knocked back to Pinnell. Pinnell at center. Looks to the sideboards. Has it knocked away by Bomey. 3-on-2 situation for Kalkaska. Nice save by Cooper. Chance at a breakout here. Toledo steps in. It's Omachinsky. Backhand saved by Bailey. Toledo's 41st shot. 5:28 to go. 5:28 to go in the third period of game one APHL playoffs. Toledo up 7-5. Face off deep in the Toledo offensive attacking zone. One over to Sarter. Sarter puts it behind the net. Loses control, but spins back and gains it. Out in front for Williams. Shot, save, Bailey. Loose in front. Another goal for Toledo. That's a Hightower goal. Clayton Hightower for the 8th goal for the Mobsters. Eight 5:16 to go in the third. Now I'm going to warn fans. Toledo was up by 3 early in this game and had Kalkaska come back. They cannot lose focus. They need to stay on this with 5:16 to go in the game of game 1 of the playoffs. Toledo up 8-5. Big goal there by Hightower. Scramble in front of the net. And we're still saying it's 4-on-4. Must have had coincidental minors and a little skirmish at the end. Williams wins the draw, throws it back. Clay Hightower got the goal. And J.J. Sarter with the assist on Toledo's 8th goal. Kalkaska rushes it up through center ice into the zone. Flips it to the center, back out to the point. Kalkaska puts pressure on. Knocked down there by Toledo, recovered there by Williams. Williams looks up, steps into the zone, feeds it over to Hightower. Had it knocked out. Kalkaska clears the zone. Smith picks it up for Toledo. Off the boards, ahead to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer rushing on deep into the zone. Bailey played it away from Pfeiffer, and now the pressure comes back out. Williams recovers, but has it stolen off his stick by Kalkaska. Loose in front, off to the boards. Pinnell looks. Uses his body. We're going to have a tripping penalty on Kalkaska. I think Kalkaska is starting to get a little frustrated here. It's starting to show on the ice as that puck was flipped towards the Toledo bench. 4:06 to go in the third period. Toledo 8, Kalkaska 5. It's a 5-on-3 situation, with J.J. Sarter still to serve 52 seconds of his penalty, and number 15, Matt Heim, for Kalkaska both have 52 seconds. And it'll be coincidental minors on the players. I think Hightower just got tossed. Hightower had a 2-minute penalty, and I think they tossed him. Williams goes to the box, I believe, to serve that. Number 77 for Kalkaska gets 2 minutes. That's Tyler Christensen that flipped the puck towards the Toledo bench. 4:06 to go in the third period of game 1 of the APHL playoffs. The number 4 seed, Toledo Mobsters, 8. The number 5 seed, Kalkaska Battlers, 5. We're running out of scoreboard space to get all the penalties up there. Okay, the officials are working out all the penalties. Looks like the referees have called the guys over to try to explain to both teams what's going on. Come on, we got 4 minutes to finish this game. Looks like Austin Giblin's trying to talk his way back onto Toledo as he's skating around chatting with Brody Duncan. Okay, looks like we've got it sorted out. Referee Troy Bose is going down to talk to head coach Jasper Represio for Kalkaska. Explain the penalties. Bear with us. We're getting close to puck drop here with 4:06 to go in the third period. Toledo up 8-5 in game 1 of the APHL first round playoffs. There's the whistle. It's like, let's get to the line. The crowd reacts, and we set it up. It'll be a 4-on-3, a 3-on-3 situation here. It's going to be a 4-on-3 in the favor of Kalkaska. Okay, 4-on-3 Kalkaska. They just don't have everything there because the clock's stacked, so they can't see everything on the board. That seems to be the confusion there. So when we talked about running out of space on the clock, we've reached that point. Face-off is one to Duncan. Back to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer looks around the net, throws it back over to Duncan. Duncan races up through center ice into the zone. Taken there. Looks over. Quick shot to Bailey. Knocks it into the corner. Picked up by Kalkaska. Drops it. Picked up as Kalkaska circles in their own zone. Back behind the net. Over to Giblin. Fought there for by Pfeiffer. Pinnell picks it up at center ice and feeds it over to Duncan. Duncan tosses it over to Pinnell. Pinnell makes a toe drag but loses it to Giblin. Out through center comes Kalkaska. Flips it in. Cooper plays it. Looks at the clock. 8:05. 3:14 to go. Duncan up through center ice. Just carries it in. Looks to Pinnell and nods, says, come with me. Picked up there by Pfeiffer. Going to rag some time off of the clock. Over to Pinnell. They bring it back into their defensive zone. Pinnell tosses it down ice. Just wide, but played now back by Bailey. Picked up into the corner by Kalkaska. They try to rush up. Clear the zone, but knocked away there by Pfeiffer. Kalkaska steps into their offensive zone. Carries it deep. Cooper knocks it aside. Cleared by Pfeiffer. Down the ice. Shorthanded. They can put the puck down the zone. Out to center it comes to Kalkaska. Drops it off as they step in. Here's a chance. Cooper plays it over into the corner. Back out to the point for Kalkaska. Slides it over to his D partner in front. Tipped by Cooper. It went up into the netting and out of play. 2:09 to go in the game. 8-5 Toledo. 55 seconds of power play time for Kalkaska. It's two players for each. It's a player for each team will come out right now. So it's a 5-on-4 situation for Kalkaska with 2 minutes to go in the game. Toledo up 8-5. Recovered by Kalkaska. Chance knocked down. Great save by Cooper. Backhand by number 25, and that's Channing Gorsuch. That's at least his second or third goal of the game, and it's 8-6 with 1:51 to go in the third period. Toledo will be on a 37-second power play, up 8-6 with 1:51 to go here in the third period. Kalkaska knocks it into the zone, but Pinnell picks it up, skates around behind the net, drops it off there for Duncan. Duncan looks up ice, throws it up towards Hightower. Hightower has it, drags it. Oh, nice save by Bailey. Followed that through. Kalkaska picks it up, comes through center ice with 1:30 to go. Cooper looks to play it, knocks it back behind the net in front. Really dangerous play there. Picked along a board. Starter makes the play, takes a man down. Kalkaska drags it out of the zone. Takes it all the way back, and that's fine by Toledo because it's burning time. There's a chance for Hightower. Looks over. There's Pfeiffer. No, goal. Beautiful pass from Hightower to Pfeiffer, and Pfeiffer just roofs the puck. 9-6, 55 seconds to go in game one of the APHL playoffs here in Toledo. Cameron Pfeiffer with just a beautiful wrister that went right up to the ceiling, popped a cookie jar off the net, and gives Toledo another 3-goal lead, 9-6. Coach Represio has asked for the officials to come and have a chat. Still 5-on-5. 55 seconds to go in the game. Pfeiffer back to Pfeiffer. Long aboards. Bomey dumps it in. Bailey plays it back behind his net. Kalkaska picks it up. Into the corner. Tries to clear the zone, but it's maintained there by Kalkaska. Clear the zone out towards center, but it's out of his reach. Way clears out the Toledo zone, and it's all the way back into the Kalkaska end. Kalkaska carries it back into their own zone. It's because the goalie has now been pulled. That's the reason they set it back there. Knocked into the center, and here comes Cooper, wanted to play that. Shot down ice, and that's going to be an icing call. Icing with 9.4 seconds to go. Cooper wanted the goal. Cooper wanted the goal. 9.4 seconds to go in the game. Toledo 47 shots. Kalkaska 35. And Toledo's just under 10 seconds away from winning game 1 of the APHL first round playoffs. Pfeiffer takes the shot down net, and it's in. And it's in. So the final, if they count, it's 10-6. If they don't, it's 9-6. But Toledo wins either way. Game 1 of the American Premier Hockey League first round playoffs. Congratulations to the Mobsters on this Game 1 win. They salute the crowd. And we will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.